We're live. All right, there we go.
Oh,
That took a second. We're ready to hurt some people's feelings. But first, man, what do you got going on?
okay. Check it out. I have to do this. So this is only available till May. It's the Twix flavored chocolate caramel outright bar. I want to show you something now. Again, we are big on weight loss and staying on fat. When you want a treat, reach for a healthier treat. Look at that. Watch. I'm going to break it open. Oh, look at this one. Oh, goodness gracious. Look at that.
That's looking crazy good.
But you know what? When you're done eating this, you don't want to eat anything later. We got something for that too. We got No Morbidity, right, Matt?
We have No Morbidity right here. You can still pick it up at Ambrosia Collective. We are still in stock. And it is 4 patent ingredients at the clinically tested human doses. I literally have clients, dude, that have reported back like 23% weight loss in 4.5 months on this. 23%. That beats like the pharmaceuticals. It's crazy.
It does.
Also, man, the savings on your grocery bill right now, when you eat 23% less food, is pretty fucking steep. So check that shit out. And I put the link for that in the comments already.
We're here to help you in every sense of the matter. So I want to tell you something I was really excited about. So I picked up groceries after I had a client this morning at Carbon Culture. And I literally went to Publix 2 days ago. I'm not going back till after this inflation. Publix was insane. It was like $80 for like 3 items. And I went to Aldi. It's literally pre-inflation prices. It's so Aldi, the 3 things. So I did a little poll on Twitter. Aldi, Costco, and Trader Joe's appear to be the winners right now. So I actually think that by going to only those stores and not going to a regular grocery store, we can actually get our grocery costs down to what it was pre-inflation. Because we used to go to Publix a lot. And I'm a big fan. I love Publix. I love a lot of their stuff. But again, right now, and Walmart, don't forget Walmart. Oh, globalists. I don't care. Look, right now, I'm worried about my family having money. I don't give a shit. We can worry about globalism later. But right now, shopping at Publix versus shopping at Walmart, it's either give to one tyrant or the other, right?
We go to Sam's, and I got a Sam's membership again because when Crystal and I bought tickets to go see Pitbull and Iggy Azalea, because I can't wait for that fucking concert. They had to reschedule because of
Pitbull is so amazing, dude. I love that guy.
I'm excited, but they gave me like we could get a Sam's membership for a year for like $10. So I was like, fuck yeah, and it's already way paid itself off. I'm getting Wagyu beef, like Wagyu ground beef for like fucking like $6 a pound, $7 a pound.
Yeah, dude. So we're buying cows and shit now. Like we've gotten, and we're having like, we have buddies who hunt. I don't hunt. I'm not a hunter. I'm not pretending to be like, I do manly stuff, but fixing things and killing animals isn't my strength. So hunting for me, hunting for sales. That's how Jews hunt. Yeah. We hunt for sales at grocery store. We have a buddy killing we have a buddy killing a deer for us, hopefully. And we have a deep freezer. So my suggestion to you guys is buy a deep freezer, invest that, $300-400, and it'll pay for itself. Cause then you could bulk buy the meat, freeze it, and it's good to go. So there's your outright minute I like to do for the day. But I was really,
I like it.
I was so excited. I kept texting Katie the prices from Aldi, and she's like, are you okay? I'm like, I think I have an erection. Like, I'm so excited about these prices. Like, if you want to turn a Jew on, show them a deal.
Yeah.
Like that's talk dirty to me. Oh, you'll save 50%. Oh,
erections and Aldi's. We're already talking. We are not even 4 minutes in, and we're talking about penises already.
And we haven't even gotten near the topic, bro.
No.
But honestly, the topic is inflation, because that's one thing that people are voting on in this election. And I actually think, I'd actually kind of confirmed my bias. I actually think that this election was a huge win. And again, both of us are independents, but we won't vote Democrats. So call us what we will. Democrats have gone nuts. Like, they've gone off the chart, crazy. But so Republicans won. Just flipping the House, that's winning. Yet I see, these fake conservatives like Shapiro.
Dude, he's getting so annoying.
I love him, though. I think he's smart. I just think he's too smart. Does that make sense? Like, he's so smart, he gets caught up in his bias. Like the vaccine, his wife's a doctor, so he's caught up in that bias. We got yellow, the yellow monetized where it's limited. I'm trying not to say anything last time. Hopefully this time not, but last time we got a little crazy with the wording. So Shapiro, I think, just gets caught up in his own hype and his own knowledge that he refuses to look outside. I really think he's smart. He just needs to get out of his own way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't think he's an idiot.
I think that he's very narrative driven and he's got his own kind of narrative. That's the problem though. They all have their things. That's one of the reasons why we're talking today, and we're going to upset a lot of people because I find it weird. Like, who are you going to believe? Like two dudes that like literally just to be aware, like Mark lost millions of dollars with Kroger's. Like I literally was like, I was literally like in the YouTube hotspot. Like, I was gaining like 2,000 subscribers a week and shit like that. But we had a lot to lose and we just presented facts and people got so pissed off. So nobody believed that shit. Me and Mark are on our I Told You So tour because literally every day I just go back into my Twitter feed, which if you're not following me on Twitter, I'm the MFing COO. Just
verified.
Verified. I paid my $8.
You and Patriot J. I told him, I said, you're my two favorite peasants.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's so. If I'm already verified, do I have to pay the $8? Because
no,
I don't think so. So there's a good Jewish move right there. That's how you save $8.
Well, you may have to, because what I'm thinking, because here's my thing, the verification thing. Like, I felt like I had given up on it in most social media platforms anyway, because like if I'm not going to be verified, like there is literally a documentary about me, dude. Like, there's literally like the dark side of fat acceptance is literally about me. It's like you can watch it on Tubi and places like that, right? Amazon. Best-selling weight loss author, those sorts of things. If I understand that I don't fit into the woke agenda, so they're not going to verify me. I don't care about the blue check, but I wonder for you, like you might want to check because there's going to be some stuff that comes along with it, like the creator monetization and stuff like that too.
I will do it regardless, and I'm already a Twitter blue, so I'm guessing I could just upgrade that. Whatever Elon does, I'm on board. Period. I like Twitter. It's my fastest growing platform. I like the people there the best. I've actually, a lot of people I hang out with in the gym on a daily basis, actually I met on Twitter, and Mike Cernovic and people like that, and Poso and Tim Pool. So I've met, and also Elijah, which I'm going to go see him next week again. Mm-hmm. So, it's for me, Twitter is just a great place with like-minded people. And once they purge the Democrat bots, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah,
the bots are just horrible.
I don't want them to purge everybody. Like, I'm hoping some of the Democrats stay because I really want to have lively conversation. I have
conversation with those people though, man. It's gotten to the point where they're just like, well, you make a point, then they're like, you're racist, you're on steroids. It's like, can we just have a cup? But the Trump people do the same. The worst steroid fest I ever went through, when people were just like steroid this, steroid that, was when I insulted Trump. And then all the Trump people, like, it was so what I'm getting at is they're nuts. Like the Trumpers, the MAGA, like they're cultists. They're just like the left. Now they're not as dangerous. I don't see them firebombing churches, but I do see that they're ideologically set in their ways, and they refuse to believe that Trump is like. And a lot of these people are religious, and in religion, you're not supposed to worship false idols, but they're literally worshiping this false idol.
The thing is, and for those like I already got this a little bit because both Mark and I, if you want to check our Twitter feeds, kind of went off about Trump a little bit because here's my thing.
A lot, yeah.
And I remember texting you the other day. I was like, why the fuck is this motherfucker doing his Trump rallies the week before the campaign, week before the election? Like it serves no purpose. He's not going to actually solidify anybody. If anything, he just motivates the fucking true like never Trumpers to vote against him. So that's one of the reasons why I think that he's a bad choice. There's also the fact that motherfucker is going to be 78 years old when the
that's
2024 elections,
come
around. And like if he really loved America, and this is my stance on it, and for those of you in the comments that are big Trump fans, if he really loved America, if he wasn't doing this for Donald Trump, if he was doing it for America, he would step aside, endorse Ron DeSantis, and then campaign for Ron DeSantis.
Yes.
And that would solidify, like, you would get DeSantis's people and you would get the Trumpers, and that would be good for America. But instead, he's already stated that if DeSantis tries to run, he's going to try to trash him, because that's how Trump runs against people. He just trashes the person, and it's a strategy that's worked, obviously. But I think it didn't
work last time.
No.
It didn't work last time. The problem is with Trump is that I believe he's not only not effective, I believe he's actually hindering wins. Like he backed Oz in the primary, Oz wins the primary, loses to a mentally disabled guy who can't speak.
That's just insane.
I mean, Oz was the absolute talk about alienating your base. You get a guy who literally 2 years ago says he's pro-choice, comes out now as pro-life. He flip-flops all his positions just to win. You know, it's kind of like, and the Trump thing, you know, I know a guy who voted straight down the line Republican, except for president. He voted for Biden. And that is odd, but it's what's happening because people really dislike the guy. He's very polarizing. So it's either you love him or you hate him. But I think that the amount of people on his base, I think some people are figuring out, wait a second, like a lot of the people pro-freedom, when Trump came out and he was like, and he was pushing the shot, I think a lot of people are like, wait, hold on, bro, hold on. So a lot of the pro-freedom people who are MAGA people, but then you got the people saying, oh, he doesn't really mean it. It's like, why is he saying it then? It's like the guy's, I mean, he's a vaccine salesman. He really is. He's flip-flopped on a lot of issues. And don't remember, he banned bump stocks. I mean, he's not pro-Second Amendment. He's what Trump, again, he's a registered Democrat his entire life. So Trump is a guy who will do whatever it takes to get people to like him. But he's found this faction of people. And Trump even said it himself. He said, I can go in Times Square and shoot somebody and nothing will happen. And people will still vote for me because Trump's a smart guy. He knows how this works.
He's got such a loyal fan base right now that, and I mean, just to be real, you fuckers, like, you guys are just as bad as the wokies. A lot of you. Like, I mean, like, you really are. Like, some of you guys won't even like accept reality. I thought Trump's economy was awesome. My businesses did fabulous. You know, it was great. It's what allowed me to leave the healthcare industry and run my own businesses, to be honest. And I'll always be appreciative because when the economy's booming like that, people were able to spend money. It was awesome for me. Awesome.
And
but then, like, when you get to how he handled the pandemic, no, and everybody's like, well, he had bad people around him. And that's 4 years in. Like, I mean, like, he shouldn't have, like, that's the problem. Like, he shouldn't have bad people around him, and he definitely shouldn't. He handed our freedom over to non-elected hacks who openly take money from the pharmaceutical industry. Like, to me, that kind of makes you a bad candidate for president of the United States to begin with. You know. Now, I'd vote for him tomorrow against Joe Biden.
Absolutely. No question.
Just to be square, I'd vote for him tomorrow against Joe Biden, you know?
But here's a question for everybody here. Okay, let's say, and I'm going to direct it to you, Alan. So let's say Ambrosia, me and Sean make a decision. And it's the wrong one. And the company goes downhill and whatever goes out of business. And then at the end, it's like, Sean, Mark, why did you do that? We're like, well, we had bad advisors. At the end of the day, we're in charge of the company. We are operating the company. We are the CEOs. So whose fault is that? If you surround yourself as a leader with poor consultants, poor advisors, poor support staff, at the end of the day, that's your fault. If you are a CEO and somebody rips you off and takes all your company's money, I've had this happen. I've had an employee steal over $300K from us. Okay, I've had, this back in the day. This is when I didn't have $300K. And it took years to rebuild from that. But at the end of the day, I put him in that position. I didn't have the oversight and checks and balances in place. And it was my fault because I empowered and enabled this individual to do that. The problem with Trump is that if you are CEO is one thing. I'm the CEO of a company. Trump, you're the president. You're the most powerful man in the free world. And you are telling me that somebody forced you to do something? You're the president. There's nobody with a higher title in the world than the president of the United States. And you are telling me that some little fucking munchkin is running okay, first of all, why did you empower him with all that power? He doesn't have that power. He's not even an elected official. Yet we're blaming it on Fauci. And I don't blame Fauci for anything. I blame people for putting him in a position, like Fetterman, you guys just elected a mentally disabled individual.
Yeah.
How he votes is going to be classic and hysterical, but scary. So Fauci is like he's a maniacal little demon, but he is a sane version of Fetterman because they're both going to do things that are bad for the country.
Right.
So you idiots in Pennsylvania, you elected Fetterman. Good job. Dr. Oz, douchebag. Still, you elected, you elected a vegetable.
Yeah.
You elected like a carrot.
It's very fucking scary. Loeb, Weiner, Roberts, 2024. We are likely the most two most unelectable people alive, I think.
Oh, dude, we would get in fist fights on the floor. And I'm good with that. I've admitted that. Like,
could you imagine us in press conferences? Well, no, fuck you.
Yeah. It's like, well, hold on. Do you fucking lift? It's like, but I had lunch with an individual who's high in the Republican Party in Tennessee when we first moved here. And they wanted me to run for office for state house. And I was considering it. My wife, she kiboshed that really quick because I can't even handle trolls in the fitness industry. Imagine me trying to handle trolls. Imagine me trying to handle what Marjorie Taylor Greene goes through. I couldn't do it. I mean, I couldn't be swatted. I can't do as it is. I had hazmat at my house in Illinois. Like, I can't do it. I don't want to put my family through. That's the thing. Another thing about politics, it's supposed to be of the people, by the people. Unfortunately, the people like me and Alan who actually care about our country and have experience running businesses. I've built double digits of businesses from 7 to 8 figures. I know how to run a business, and I know what my stances are, and I don't mince words, and I tell the truth. Unfortunately, no one would ever vote for us because of that, because that's why people hate us, because at least you know where we stand. And unfortunately, people like us, in my opinion, are who the founding fathers intended to run the country.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. Because we were supposed to run it for a little while and then get out of doing it, and then hand it over to other people. It's not supposed to be as long as these people have been in power. But also, we look at things from a very commonsensical standpoint, and I think we're both constitutionalists too. Like me and you, for those of you that are wondering, please do follow us on Twitter because the exchanges are very good. And
Last night was fun.
Last night was fun. It was, but also I think the exchanges bring out a lot of information too. Like people seem to forget right now that the federal government is operating in an unconstitutional fashion almost daily. Like, they are not supposed to make decisions that are not granted to them in the Constitution of the United States. Like, just so everybody's clear on that. Like, the ATF does not have the authority to do what they're doing. The FBI does not have the authority to do what they're like.
No,
they are out. Like, those things should be kept to the states. It's the 10th Amendment, and it's just being completely ignored, right? And the sad thing is there's only the most hated, Marjorie Taylor Greene, we keep bringing her up, but she won re-election like that. She is hated even by the GOP. Like, the GOP doesn't support her. They don't go to bat for her fucking ever. But she is truly a constitutionalist. Now, I don't agree with everything she says. I'm not endorsing every word that comes out of the woman's mouth.
I don't know, man. She's pretty fucking accurate on most things.
Yeah.
The thing is, but what she says, she believes. Like, she's not kowtowing, and she will speak up against, even though the Republicans are all going pro-war, she's like, why are we doing this? I want Thomas Massey. I want Rand Paul. I want MTG. If she wins, which is 68% chance via New York Times, I want Lauren Boebert. And Boebert is, I believe, even a more extreme version of Marjorie Taylor Greene. And but think about it. They're both cute. They're both moms. Democrats hate powerful women. They hate it. They pretend to like it, but Hillary's a puppet. But when you get an actual
Hillary's not cute.
Exactly. Feminists, Pelosi was kind of hot as a kid. I'm not Biden. As a younger woman, I'm talking 20s. She was okay. Definitely
at the turn of the century.
This was like fucking Revolutionary War shit when she was hot. But the
picture she took when there was the actual gunpowder flash thing. So
if you think about it, feminists should be going gaga over MGT because she is everything we want women to be. She will not back down to a man. She will not take no for an answer. She speaks her mind. She's exactly what I want my daughter to be. Maybe not the same viewpoints. Again, my daughter's views are, but I want my daughter. If my daughter's I think climate change is a fucking problem. I want my daughter to be able to speak on it. I want her to be able to say why, cite data, and just go toe to toe with a 400-pound muscular man and say, no, you're fucking wrong. And I'm not going to back down from you because this is what I believe in and I'm right. Instead, we want a bunch of puppets, a bunch of AOCs. I mean, they're all puppets. MGT has fought the Republican Party during the lockdowns. She was like, no, I don't care what side of aisle you're on. You're wrong. Here's why you're wrong. And she was right. And everybody was right. Thomas Massey was right. Rand Paul was right. These guys were right. Yet when a woman becomes strong, we saw it with Sarah Palin. That was the first time I saw what Democrats will do to strong women. And then I'm like, whoa. Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene does not believe in. So I don't think anybody is arguing that the climate changes. I think our disagreement is if we could do anything about it. I think nobody's going to argue, even Marjorie Taylor Greene, that we need a clean earth, that we need, but we also can't convert to electric cars. We can't keep the power grid on in California, like right away. And also before we go to electric cars, we need to find a new source of electricity. Because right now, electricity is coming from fossil fuels. So you're still producing the same pollution, just in two different spots instead of one. And to mine for those batteries, you have slave labor and you're destroying the earth. So I don't think we've thought it through. So I don't think Marjorie Taylor Greene never said the climate never changes. That's like saying it can't rain tomorrow. Like climate change happens. It's whether we can do anything about it.
The thing about it is most of the climate change advocates are completely disingenuous. Okay. Like, if we really wanted to look out for the climate, we would like, and I know like big shock that the weight loss guy is going to talk about this, but if we really wanted to reduce our carbon footprint in America, especially, we'd unfatten people. It's like statistically and like by data shown that fat people create more carbon than thin people, not just in them breathing, but their car having to launch, haul their fat ass around. And also the extra consumption from getting yourself and keeping yourself that big. Like, I mean, like the food gets produced and packaged and shipped all sorts of places. So the extra, intake of calories and stuff like that does have a carbon footprint all unto itself. So if we really wanted to take care of ourselves, not to mention that the extra resources used and transportation used for healthcare and for pharmaceutical and for stuff like that. So a real genuine conversation about like, hey, we should if we wanted to talk about lowering our carbon footprint, I would suggest that we absolutely take the all-encompassing approach of looking out for like reducing our actual carbon emissions, of course. Let's work on trying to have like cars be a little bit more efficient. We don't do that. Like the gas mileage on a car per mile has stayed the same for like 30 fucking years. You know what I mean? Like, but also like drill, baby, drill, frack as much as you fucking can. Let's look at solar. Let's look at nuclear. Let's look at wind. Let's look at tidal. Tidal is one that's just coming up too, where they use the tides to generate energy. Let's do it all. Because I can tell you one thing, us having to fucking transport oil from Russia and bring it over here, that's not very efficient. Like, it's just not very efficient. I mean, and I got to be real. While I worry about the future of the planet, I worry about the future of the country more. And we have to be energy independent very fucking quickly. And I'm talking very soon, within the next 4 years, because what is happening right now is while it may not be an actual tax, the American people are being taxed, as we said, with increased costs that they cannot bear. Like the amount of foreclosures and shit like that. That's one of the reasons. I know it sounds fucked up, but buy yourself no more. If you have any weight to lose, buy yourself no morbidity. Use to help get control of your habits and reduce your food bill, because that is important. We have people that reduce it like hundreds of dollars. I got to be real. It's only going to get worse. Like, we are almost out of diesel. For those of you that don't know that, the cost of transportation is going to be born into the products we consume. It's fucking crazy right now.
It's at the point now. I tweeted the other day after before my monologue here, when I found how to save money, a lot of people don't budget for groceries. They just go buy stuff. They eat out all the time. And I'll be honest, like I haven't looked at grocery prices. I like to find deals because it's in my blood. But like, this is the first time. And I remember I got home and I'm like, I just bought literally like 3 things. And I'm at like $80. I'm like, holy shit. And then we started looking into it. And then we found out, okay, here's the stores that it's literally what we used to pay pre-inflation. So we got to be smarter. We got to help each other, give each other tips. And again, like nothing is better. And also when shit gets rough, being in shape and not being sickly, because I'm not relying on our healthcare either. The hospitals are evil. The hospitals literally killed people. They still haven't apologized. They literally killed people with the ventilators. No one, have you ever heard one person say, hey, we kind of messed up with the ventilators. Sorry, we killed your family. No, it just, everybody forgot. And like the craziest thing, this is another thing I wanted to kind of segue into, is why there will never be a red wave. Here's why. There's no more red left in Michigan. There's no more red left in California. There's no more red left. Not enough to win an election in New York. You thought Zeldin or Zedlin or whatever, you think he was going to win in New York? You're out of your fucking mind. At the end of the day, anybody who stayed in Michigan through Whitmer's lockdowns loves being punished for being on this earth. There's no self-respecting individual who isn't locked down by some kind of weird job where they're getting overpaid, who's like, oh, everybody else is open. We're still forced to wear masks, locked down, and our kids are being taught that they need to cut off their genitals. There's no self-respecting human being who stayed in Michigan or in California or in New Jersey or in New York. You're not going to change it now. It's too late. If you are in Illinois, if you're in California, if you're in New York, and you don't like what's around you, read the room. If they couldn't pull it off this election, it's over. Everybody is migrating to Tennessee, Texas, and Florida mainly. You have other states that are awesome. You have West Virginia, you have Oklahoma, you have Kansas, you have Arkansas. There's a lot of options. What I'm telling you guys, I don't care if you have to use your life savings. Trust me. There's all my neighbors and also in the other areas that aren't as wealthy as Brentwood where I live. Okay, I'm not saying that as a flex. I'm saying that my neighbors can afford to move to Brentwood. Even if they lost $100,000, what fucking ever, we're rich. Who cares? If you like, say someone in Mount Juliet or someone in Columbia, I have yet to meet one person who lost their ass to move here who isn't thanking the good Lord even the atheists are thanking God. They found God. If you move from a blue state to a red state and you believe what we believe in freedom, you will not, it doesn't matter if you have to work 10 jobs. You will wake up every morning and you will thank the good Lord that you're here. 100%. I haven't met, when I talk to through the gyms and through just life, I talk to dozens of people a day. And all the people I know are transplants basically. And every single one of them is like, God, this is fucking amazing. Move, get out now. Get out. Do not even think about it. I don't care if you have to take loans. Move. If you're in Illinois, run. Don't even sell your house. Let it foreclose. Get out.
They reelected Pinkster, the
fat fuck.
The fat fuck. They reelected him, and they got this law coming into effect. I mean, just so people understand, in Illinois, they basically legalized all crime. Like, I mean, you can't be arrested for even like fucking, like they can't hold you. They can't hold you if you rape somebody, or like, I don't know if it's rape, but like second degree murder, they can't hold you. Like, it's insane. Like what's about to happen in Illinois. Like, I don't understand how these people can live in these places. I remember like two years ago, Mark and I went to the ISSN conference, or Mark took me to the ISSN conference. And that's but that's where like people talk about actual sports and nutrition science, right? And Sean came, Mark's co-CEO from Ambrosia, and that's right when the masks were going on crazy. Now that was in St. Petersburg, Florida. Right?
Oh, Sean. Oh, I remember that.
He was like freaked out that he didn't have to put a mask on everywhere. He was like, so I could just walk in the store without it. Like, it was weird to me. It was weird to me how trained people got so quickly to that shit. You know what I mean? Like, where it's like, it was like the mental conditioning has got these people so it's like they've forgotten to be free. Like, you know, like, and I mean, I'm sure, like, I mean, now Sean realizes there's the difference, especially after being there. That's what I don't understand. Like, how can you know that I'm living my life the way I'm at? Like, I'm not dead. Like, people didn't just fall over dead nonstop in Florida. Like, I mean, it is what it is, you know, like, and to people, like, the world's become so dichotomous because of it. People that were accepting of that stayed, you know, people that are accepting of this stuff in New York City, just like you said, stayed. everybody's like, Florida had a massive red wave. And don't be wrong, DeSantis' policies got us there. But the reason why they got us there is, did they change some minds and he won the Hispanic vote? That was immense. That was huge. I can't even believe that. However, a lot of fucking people that vote red moved here. Like a lot. Like
and those are the votes that would have put New York over the top. That's what I'm saying. If you look at the margin of error and look at the 10% decrease at 10% migration, 10% of people, 10% in Illinois, California, New York, 10%. Most of these votes are the difference is 5. Think about it. All of the people left. And I think that is almost by design by both sides.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it has to be. I don't know if it was accidental, but it seems like the blue didn't get bluer, but it stayed blue.
Yep.
And the red, holy shit. Like, nobody talks about Tennessee. God bless. I'm listening to Tim Cass this morning on the way to the gym. I'm listening and he's talking about like, oh, we had big wins in Texas and Florida. And I'm like, bro, dude, they called Bill Lee winning Tennessee at like 11 a.m. Like,
they were like,
I mean, they're like, why even fucking count this shit? Like, here, you won. Can give a speech. It was like 70% of the vote. And other than Memphis, we got Nashville. Like, everything's red. Tennessee is the most red state, as far as I know, maybe Wyoming, in the fucking union. But Mitt Romney in Utah, that would be a red state, but he makes it blue. So, so here's the deal: is like, we are literally the most red state, and it's not. And look, Williamson County was considered purple. We were considered a purple city, a purple county. Now, all these people from my neighbors, I don't think I have one fucking neighbor from Tennessee. I got New York, I got Illinois, I got New Jersey, and they all make me look, because I am not a Republican. They make me look like fucking Bernie Sanders. Like, these people are so based. It's insane. And I think there's one Democrat who works at Vanderbilt. That's it. That's it. And everybody, and she posted some shit in the neighborhood Facebook group, like, hey, they're having vaccines, and they had to delete the post. Yeah. Because everybody was like, fuck out of here. I love it. I love living here. But that's the thing. If you love communism, move to Michigan, move somewhere. Like, dude, Ohio's red as fuck now.
Yeah. So the question I have for you is multifold. One, and we started this off by, of course, talking about Trump. But if you guys thought we were going to stay on topic, you guys are fucking crazy. Like, you haven't been paying attention if you thought me and Mark were just going to stay on one topic.
This makes it special.
What do we do? Because I got to be real. Like, I don't think that we're at a stage where we can actually like live together. Like, I mean, you're in the same, like, and a lot of people in the chat, I don't think you guys get it, but Mark is in the same position I am, where on a daily basis, I talk to people from all around the country, literally all around the world, right? And my life, how I lead it here in Florida, not only is very different than people that live in like Washington State, in like Seattle and New York City, but it has been like to the point where I have clients overseas, and my life more like their lives more resemble our lives, mine and yours, than people in like New York City. Like, it's very crazy. Like, and I say this because, like, here's how Florida works. People get uppity and like start like a small riot in a parking lot or a grocery store or something like that, and they attack somebody. They're likely catching some lead. You know what I mean? Like they're likely going to get put down right there, right?
Or there's going to be somebody jacked who's going to just kick your ass. Yeah, a former like high school wrestler who submits you. Yeah, something like that, right? but in New York, like, they have like, it's just crime. Like, I can't see people wanting to live under that, but the people that do, just like I said, they chose that. So it's so different. It's getting to the point now where, as like the red collects with the red, and the people like us who are happier being free, who can live with even the far right ideals and stuff like that. Yeah. And I have like, I guess you would consult, like, with today's modern thought on it, I would guess I would be considered more conservative, even though I consider myself a moderate. It's just I consider myself a classic liberal. I'm a libertarian. Yeah. I'm a left-leaning libertarian. Yeah, I'm a left-leaning libertarian. There's no, by any definition, up before the year 2020, I would be considered a left-leaning libertarian. And now
Absolutely.
I'm considered right-wing MAGA, and I don't even like the guy who created MAGA. Like, that's the problem. Like, people assume, like, they'll be like, yeah, you Trump voters. Hold on. You could call me names.
Yeah.
And I am a Trump voter, but like, I'm not a Trump guy. Like, I would have voted for a fucking stray cat over Joe Biden. In fact, with Fetterman, I actually believe a stray cat has a higher IQ.
Yeah, absolutely. Me and you were on, like, with one of our lives. I was catching up on one of our lives from before the election, and you and I both talked about, like, well, we have two choices, and the one choice is talking about mandating masks and shit like that. That's not the choice we're going to be able to make. Like,
No.
I think the quote was, our choice is between two elderly dudes with kind of questionable history with women. Like,
Yeah.
who do we pick from? You
Yeah.
know? Like,
it's
but what do we do? Like, what do we do as a country? Like,
we're not going to have, we can't have a national divorce because federal land. We just can't, because we share resources. We have the federal government. A secession, other than Texas, nobody's set up for it. So you can't even talk about secession. I really don't have an answer, but the only logical long-term, and this could be 1 year, 10 years, 100 years, is conflict. And I'm not talking about blasting each other on Twitter. I'm talking about the next time Antifa goes out, or Antifa comes to the wrong neighborhood, which they don't do because they're smart.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the people controlling them, Soros, they're smart. If Antifa rolled down my street, it'd be bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we'd have a mass grave. Like,
Right.
because everybody would have target practice. Yeah. And so that's the thing. What'll happen, one possibility is they get too brazen and they go into the wrong community, and that sparks something. It takes something so small. And you got to realize, like, there were so many variables. Like, slavery was a huge issue because the extradition of slaves. But you got to realize Civil War was more 10th Amendment, and it was a peaceful. They were like, you do you, we do us. That's fine. And the Democrats in the South were like, hey, you know what? We'll go ahead and we'll keep our slaves. And the Republicans in the North were like, but we're not sending them back. And so it was 10th Amendment. It was all that. And keep in mind, like, during the time, like, we're seeing this now with the social medias and and this is what's scary, is that we're following similar path than the Civil War. And follow me here because my brain works weird. Lincoln shut down newspapers. Mm-hmm. People don't realize Abraham Lincoln was a fucking terrible president. I hate when people say he's the greatest president since Lincoln, so he fucking sucks. Like, that's a low bar. Lincoln was the most, he shit on the 10th Amendment. He completely destroyed the First Amendment, and we're celebrating him like some kind of a savior because he got one issue right. By the way, off topic, sort of on topic. In Tennessee, we had 4 constitutional amendments on the ballot. One of them was to end slavery. So I'm not kidding. And it won by 80%. What I'm wondering is the 20% who thought that slavery should be legal. I'm like, oh, wow, it won by a landslide. But I got to think, those people just must not have read it, you know? Yeah. And that just shows you what low information voters there are. And that's what we're dealing with. People who voted literally for a vegetable in Pennsylvania. I don't care if Dr. Oz is for whatever. You voted for a vegetable. Like, oh, my God. But yeah, back to what I was saying. I don't see anything any way around. And this is not like tomorrow we're all going to take to the streets. Eventually there will be an armed conflict, and it might be regional. It might be very localized, but I don't see if that BLM rally that went off in Nashville did the same thing in Franklin, there'd be bodies on the floor.
Yeah.
Because our cops and our citizens would defend our streets. Because in the South, see, people who live in the city, they like the sports teams. Mm-hmm. People who live here, they love our country and we love our community. We will protect it with our lives. So there's a difference between the way the North, I'm a proud New Yorker. No, you're not. You just like the Mets. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's all about God. It's all about country, and it's all about family and community. And that's what makes the South so special. As someone who was born in Chicago, raised in LA, and then lived in Illinois and lived in North Carolina, it's a whole different vibe. Yeah. Where you're playing on this, no matter where you're on. Like, there's a couple whack jobs in Nashville. There's a lot of them in Memphis. But like, you go out to the suburbs, and it doesn't matter if you're a registered Democrat or a registered Republican. We still have that American ideal that we're on the same team. Right. We just have different ideals and ideas on how to win the game.
See, I think that that's a huge issue right now too, is because one side, because I got to be real, a lot of people that vote GOP, that vote Republican, I think that they just want to be left the fuck alone. They want freedom. You know,
That's
like,
us. I don't
yeah,
want to
that's-
vote. I don't want to vote downline Republican. That
Yeah.
sucks. That's
Yeah.
horrible. But I do.
But I do, because I'm not. I mean, I don't. I'm voting. I find myself very much voting against. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm very happy with DeSantis. I absolutely voted for the man. He kept me free and said all the right things. People are like the one thing is, like, I think there was a misconstrue. Like, we didn't have a lockdown order down here. We had a safer at home. Like, if you can stay home, stay home.
You're
There's no
right.
order.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
You know, like, but I was still not happy with him that he enforced the 14 days. Like, I was actually upset with that. Like, because I remember thinking, like, that's where Trump lost me. You know, like,
Yeah.
I of course wanted to vote for I would not have voted for Biden because they
No.
were going crazy. But that's where he
Yeah.
lost me. I just wonder, like, at some point in time, dude, the differences are too much. And if we want to avoid, like, I'm thinking, like, how can we avoid conflict?
There's no way.
Will it take like an actual like union of the states of like Tennessee and Texas and Florida and those in between to say we'll make our own shit, we'll do our own interstate commerce, we'll elect our own president? Because at some point in time, like, it's going to have to be seen that there's so much wrong right now. One of the like that I'm worried that there's going to be an actual problem. Like, because I'm so
There is.
old school. Like, I see all the time, and I know I'm getting way off base, but I see all the time, like people talk about burning the American flag and shit like that, and we have a right to, and it's not like, you know what, you do have a right to. I was like, I'm just suggesting you don't do it in front of me.
Yeah.
You know, because I will go to your ass until the police show up. You know, like,
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not talking to police show up and then I'll run away. Like, I will go, like, if you try to burn the American flag in front of me, I will go to your ass until the police pull me off of you. You know, like,
Yeah.
because to me, that means something, you know, like,
Mhm.
and I'll go to jail for that. And you know why I'll go to jail for that? Because you're not going to do it again. Like, I mean, like, and that's worth it, you know, like, and to me, I think that we're reaching that stage where it's like, if you don't like this country, maybe we should talk about, it's the fundamentals that they don't like. We're like,
Yeah.
they don't want the constitutional rights that I want, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the problem, you know?
I get it, but there's no peaceful way to that because the federal government has too much control and power.
Yeah.
So, you know, the states have their own militia. The states have the power to fend off. And if there was a union of states, it would be quite formidable. And there's a lot of people with guns that are there to protect themselves. So it becomes a very, and it's like, and after 2020, I have no doubt that in most cities, I don't think my city definitely wouldn't, but in the larger cities, Chicago and even Nashville, I do think the cops would turn the guns on their own neighbors and shoot them because they were told to, because they want to keep their pension. I have there's no doubt in my mind that our military would fire on its own citizens. I have no doubt in my mind. Before I said that would never happen. Now I think it's a possibility, and hopefully it never gets to that. But I think in 2020, when we saw police in Idaho take a mom off the playground with her child by force, when we saw cops slam people to the ground for not wearing masks, violating the 6 feet rule at the same time with their mask below their nose, we understand that the cops that stayed, a lot of them are the bad guys. They are not upholding their oath to the Constitution. No. Now, that's not saying that all cops who stayed are. I'm saying that, unfortunately, a lot of the really good ones who believed in the American Constitution, who believed in their oath, a lot of them have left. Thankfully, in cities that you live in and that I live in, we still have a great police department, the best in the country, probably. I'll put Brentwood and Franklin up against any police department. They're amazing. They're amazing. They get the job done, and the community loves them. But you go up to Metro Nashville, you don't have that same sentiment. I was walking down the street in Nashville, and I was outside, and a cop told me to put my mask on. I said, "Are you willing to arrest me for that?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Then no, I'm not putting my fucking mask on. If you want to arrest, if you want to arrest me, then I will take that charge because it would be amazing for Twitter grifting."
Yeah, amazing.
So worth it. I wanted to come back. I would just walk into places, be like, "Are you going to arrest me? Are you going to arrest me?" And then hold on, let me put my phone on. Let me live stream it so you can't delete it later. I'd be like, so yeah, I think that there's no way around this. There's no.
I can tell you this: Trump's not the answer. He's not the great unifier.
No,
So,
and
yeah.
is this a good time to go to questions?
Sure, yeah.
Ryan, he's from before we started. And election integrity laws haven't really changed, so I wasn't expecting much to change. He has a couple other things. We're just going to go through these signature, blah blah blah. Okay, so I get that. If I could chime in real quick, I am convinced after this election that Biden did get 81 million votes. I'm convinced that the election was within, I don't think there was enough votes. And I agree with Tim Pool on this one. And I always kind of doubt him. Look, man, from what I can tell, other than some hiccups in Maricopa County, which should never happen, conflict of interest where Katie Hobbs is running and is also in charge of the election. That's a huge problem that should never have happened. Other than that, like, we're seeing Republicans win and we're seeing Democrats win. And we're seeing, pretty much what I expected. Anybody who says there's foul play because there wasn't a red wave doesn't understand the demographic shift that we had after 2020 when people like me and Alan, well, even though we were already in our respective states, people with our thought process left. What's your opinion on the election integrity without getting us banned from YouTube?
The reality of it is, I don't know, but I can tell you this. If it is even 5% of people that believe that there was problems, there should automatically be an audit.
I do think we should audit everything.
Yeah, because the confidence in the vote has to be upheld. And if people say that they're not confident in the vote, I don't like, if there's not a problem, doing an audit only assures people. Like it only assures people. There's no negative to this, And to avoid it makes me seem like there's some hokey shit. Now, dude, don't get me wrong. I think there was some hokey shit going on. I just don't think it was. I don't think it was enough to like. It's too much where Republicans are thinking like huge voter day turnouts mean anything if a huge number of people send in mail-in ballots that are legitimate. It's a matter of getting them counted and everything like that.
The mail-in ballots are a problem. I think we should have election day. And early voting's fine in person, but having ballots just mailed. I got a ballot last election from North Carolina. I haven't lived there in fucking like 12 years, like 13. I mean, it's a long time. So that's my opinion is, dude, at the end of the day, a lot of people really hate Trump. People aren't voting for Democrats. They're voting against Trump. That's why we saw Oz get his ass handed to him. Because if these people were so Trump, Oz literally lost to a vegetable. What an embarrassing day for Dr. Oz. I mean, it's embarrassing enough being Dr. Oz. Imagine losing to a brain dead vegetable.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just, it's like abuse at this stage for like to have him in Congress. It really is.
Senate, even worse. Senate
I mean,
there's only 100 of them.
We need representation of disabled people, not in the fucking government. Like,
so why don't we just get a bunch of so like why don't we have somebody who's really mentally disabled? Like I'm talking like really like I'm talking like I can't even say the word, but why don't we just select a bunch of them? Yeah. Because you don't want mentally challenged people running the country. It's just not. If I have to explain that to anybody, it's
this person's supposed to read a bill like quickly and decide whether he should vote on it.
And we're supposed to have him debate with somebody like Putin or try and fend off someone like Putin. I mean, if you can't think or talk straight, you're not going to be able to handle, like, we're in a very competitive world with nukes. Yeah. And with nukes, this guy's voting on that stuff. Congratulations, dumbasses. Yeah. No one is. Oh, here we go. Here's a tribalist. No one is dumping Trump. Trump 2024. So why?
Why not?
Why Trump? What is Trump? What makes him better than any other American?
I mean, I openly said it like a month ago. Until he admits that the vaccine was a mistake, I mean, he's just another politician. I mean, there's nothing special about him. He's just another politician that found his grift.
Dude, look, we have the polar ends of the grift of the tribes. We have this, and then we have this, the Democrat. Trumpy needs to go to prison. Throw away the key with emojis. Democrats love emojis.
For what?
Because they can't type.
No. For why should he go to jail?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. If he committed a crime that warrants him going to jail, right now it's like imprison Trump. Okay, for what? Russia, but they showed that was all a hoax. Mean tweets. It's like, give me something. Like if Trump committed a crime, I'll be the first one to tell you he should go to prison.
How about we release the list from the island?
Yeah. How about what about Epstein? Right.
A lot of people claim that he was friends with him. If he was, I'm all for it. I'm all for him and anybody else on that list taking a very short walk into a very active wood chipper. You know, like, I mean,
yes.
So including, I mean, anybody, including Trump, I don't give a shit. Like, I mean, why don't we release that list? And then if that's the case, you know, if he's on it, I mean, I'll help you go collect him. You know,
I'll literally capture him and turn him in myself.
Yeah.
Again, like, yes, give me a crime. Just give me one crime, Democrats. Come on. I want to be on your side on this. Yeah. I don't even like the guy. I want him in jail so he gets out of he stops fucking up the Republican Party. I want him in jail. Unfortunately, you can't just throw someone in jail because you disagree with them or because they're popular. You can't, that's not a jailable offense. Yeah. You know, luckily we still live in somewhat of a free country, although the weaponizing of the DOJ is kind of scary.
That's my grift. I'm going to find a picture of him and Epstein together and be like, listen, Dems, if you guys really want to get at Trump, let's have them release the list. That's what I'm right after we get off here. I'm going to do that.
That's a great one. So Jessica, I won't shop at Whole Foods. I won't. It's so expensive.
Yeah, whole paycheck.
It is so expensive. It's crazy. Whoa, here's one. This is great. Walmart has been found to put human body parts in their meat.
Bruce Wayne, I would love to see, like, I would love to see the data on that. And if it, you know, I mean, as long as it's fresh.
I mean, hey, you know, times are tough. Before eating bugs,
let me tell you something. Oh yeah, before I'd eat bugs, absolutely. But here's the thing: like, if you guys keep fucking around and the supply chain breaks down, you guys are going to be thinking about a lot of shit that you haven't thought about before. That's for fucking sure. You know. Not that I'm suggesting you go eat human. I'm just suggesting that if it's me and my family starving, you might be delicious.
Yeah, I'll think that's where, you know, if you like the marbly meat, you go with a fat person, right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
I would actually be great to eat. Like it's all lean. Like it'd be a great cut of meat. I mean,
tough. You'd actually be tough.
Yeah, but it'd be really nutritious.
But the cool thing is, like, you could actually, like, for like a Tess Holiday style person, I'm not going to never mind.
Oh my God, you did it.
never mind.
So with me, it's like,
so you can get tallow and make candles and all sorts of shit.
Oh shit. You know, you have hormone-free beef. My meat would not be hormone-free. Yeah, that's the problem. So what is this? The inquiry today for the EA. One of the lawyers collapsed all on stage. You're kidding me. I actually, you know what? I'm at the point now, and this sounds so heartless, where I've just become so immune. Like it used to make me sad every time I saw somebody. And now it's unfortunate because it's kind of like I had a buddy who became he wanted to become a fireman. So you have to do your rotation as an ambulance, paramedic. And his first dead body, he puked all over the place. And he told me about it. After the third dead body, it didn't even faze him. It was just another day at work. And that's how, unfortunately, I believe that I'm becoming, is that I'm literally immune. And when I see people who got the treatment, we use that word very loosely. When I see them die or get sick, it's like, yeah, I guess so. You know, and that's unfortunate because we shouldn't be immune. We shouldn't be so callous to people's suffering.
But I think that that's a monster of their own creation, dude. Because look at the punishment. Like, I mean, literally, like not punishment, but look at the fucking harassment and shit like that. You and I, like people like me and you went under, you know, and not by just the fucking Democrats or the wokies, like by a lot of fucking people, you know.
Shapiro called us dopes.
And the worst part was a lot of people that we actually voted for didn't support us either. Like they were like, we just had to vote. Like it was beyond that. So when people were talking about that, like they're talking about this amnesty now. Like you want pandemic amnesty. I want pandemic tribunals. Like I want some people to actually like. There should be some like people like making deals to avoid death penalties and shit like that, because
Yeah.
I gotta be real. Like, I have no sympathy. Like, I don't. Like, you wish death upon me and my, like, not you, but these people wish death upon me and my family and you for so long. And it went from, I'm completely wrong, I'm a conspiracy theorist, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, to let's everybody just get along. Like, mistakes were made on both sides, like, I have nothing to ask for fucking forgiveness for. Well, me and you tried to warn everybody. And now what it's going to be, and me and you have talked about this before offline.
Yeah.
Here in another couple of years, these people are going to be so sick and sickly and ill that they're going to expect us to take care of them like they're fucking victims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, like, there's nothing we can do about it. We just have to.
That'll be another unfortunate I told you so for me and Mark, by the way.
We just have to prepare ourselves for what's going to happen. Rumble's whack. I don't like Rumble. Like, right now, it's such a horrible interface.
This is
I
live
can't
on
even
Rumble,
figure
by
out
the
how
way.
to use it. Yeah, I can't figure out how to use the goddamn thing. That's why it's not live on. I don't know. I have a Rumble, but it has like 2 videos up. I was like, I quit. Like, you upload it, it's kind of wonky. Maybe you could show me. Maybe I'm using it wrong, but I upload and then it's like weird. It's categorized funny.
Yeah.
Couldn't they just copy YouTube?
Yeah, they could. They should at least try.
Because YouTube's got a wonderful interface.
Yeah, the interface is beautiful. I hope Musk copies YouTube.
I hope so. Yeah, I do. Because even Facebook's is weird. It's just weird. Let me see what we got. Facebook is a bunch of people who you used to know have nothing in common with. Twitter is people you've never met that are more like your family. I think Twitter, it's easier to find people like-minded. Because if you look at, they have so if there was somebody who followed me and I followed them back, and then it gave me a list of people who were just like them as far as their thoughts. So it gives me a way to kind of find people and develop my own echo chamber.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't think Trump will win. I don't understand who is hardcore any political person. I do like who I like DeSantis. Another thing is, like, who's got to feel really insignificant right now is Governor Bill Lee. I mean, maybe he likes it, but dude's like getting no props. He never had mandates. He was the first one to open up, last one to lock down. And yet he's like, nobody even talks about Tennessee. He's probably loving it. Like, he's just doing his thing.
Yep. And he's just doing his thing.
He doesn't have to, I swear, we were joking around at the gym today that he probably spent $20 on his campaign.
Yeah. He just walked into it,
It was great. So Fetterman, what's with the sweatshirt? So Fetterman has this weird growth on the back of his head that he covers with the hoodie. Is he going to wear the hoodie like in the Senate though? Like, or is he going to wear a suit and look like, like Gru?
I don't know.
What are you going to do with
Gru though? He does look a lot like Gru though.
This is a good one. Pro-choice is a term people use because it keeps their conscience cleaner. It's really being pro-murder in the womb. I can't deny that. Like, I do believe in pro-choice with a limit, but I don't think there's any way you could slice it that it's not baby murder. Regardless of whether it's legal or not, I think we need to be intellectually consistent with what murder is, and I believe life starts at conception. That's my belief. And a lot of people disagree with me, and that's fine. But I'm also pro-choice up to, I think, from what I can tell, and I'm, again, this isn't my specialty, but it seems like 12 weeks should be a fair like middle ground. We're like, yeah, okay, don't kill them when they're viable. And you have babies living at like 21, 22 weeks. So, I mean, with science now, we can keep babies alive, and they're viable really early now. So I just don't understand. I don't understand the pro-abortion. I understand pro-choice, but I don't understand pro-abortion. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, why are we treating it like a good thing? It should be a bad thing that we can do.
Yeah, I agree. Very, very, very. Like, I agree. That's a perfectly good thing. Not to, I mean, the huge portion for me is that, like, it's privacy.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't think that I try to be consistent with the government shouldn't tell me what I can do with my fucking body. You know what I mean? That's one of my big things,
Poor Kimberly. Her husband's family sucks. They want to ban everything and be told to stay home so they can feel safe. My question, I think we've had this conversation so much, Alan, is if you feel unsafe around unmasked people, why do you feel it's your right to leave your house? Let the
Mhm.
rest of us go out and live normally, and you can stay home and be scared. Why should I modify my life because of your unbridled fear?
If it is so dangerous, just wait it out. We'll all be dead soon. I mean, maybe Biden just missed the great winter of death, like by like a couple years. Like maybe all of a sudden, somehow or another, like the vid's going to actually get like the 98% people that have natural immunity now, or whatever. You know, like it's just for. I mean, I'm Kimberly. The problem is, I fear your family is probably a victim to like the propaganda of all this stuff. You know,
Yeah.
like the actual videos from China when people were falling over dead, just falling out in the street and stuff like that. Like people got really, really, really scared. This was covered, like it was mentioned billions of times within the first month by the news and stuff like that. You know, like it was very clear that they were going for clicks, and the clicks scared the shit out of people. What's funny is you've lost a ton of subscribers. You cannot create good content anymore, and your business is failing tremendously. You should keep your page strictly to Fitness Buddy. I don't know if they're talking to you or me.
So
That's
my
outstanding.
subscribers have gone up.
Mine
I
have gone
started the
down.
year. Okay, I don't know who they're talking to. Which page is this? So I started the year at 390,000. I'm at 403,000 on YouTube. My views are down because algorithm stuff, and because a lot of my subscribers don't watch every video. As far as my business failing, let me just give you a quick update. One of my companies was acquired and is growing at a huge pace, and the other companies are in literally cash cow to star modes of their business. I just started a new company, believe it or not, a week ago, which is a clothing company, which, by the way, if you guys need smaller runs on shirts, we do those. It's called Birdman Creations, and it just launched. So the thing is, my live videos don't usually make the algorithms, don't usually make the normal list. So you literally have to seek this out to see it or be a subscriber. So again, like if you look, I launch a fitness video every day. And after this, in about 2 hours, I'm going to launch my other fitness video. I do multiple videos if you include my shorts and my posts a day. So let me tell you, if I don't know which. So the good thing about multiple businesses is that you could have one fail. The bad news is none of my businesses are. In fact, they're all in a very good growth phase. And Alan's businesses are. You can speak for yourself. They're killing it as well.
We're actually transitioning away from we're actually downsizing a business to take care of other aspects of our business, like our partnership with Mark and stuff like that too. I got to be real. I talk about this often, like the social media fame thing. You guys are very fucking weird when you equate that to actual success, because this is just a tool used. Like the idea is to eventually work this into nobody ever needing to know your name for your products to sell. And like the idea is you use this to build up function, you know, and just to be real, like engagement is engagement. And I post my lives all over the place. And if you collect them all together, the engagement's very good. I mean, the engagement's very, very strong. YouTube not liking me I'm totally good with, but book sales are crazy. I'm a best-selling fucking weight loss author. It's like, you guys suck and I hate you and you look like the guy that banged my wife and blah, blah, blah. You know, I mean, I feel for you, because if you literally know my history this much, I'm saying stuff now, not fitness related, that is upsetting you because I'm making you feel some kind of way of you feel fucking stupid because you can't claim anything I've said non-fitness related has been false. You know?
No, I think that just getting out and having these dialogues, and that's the problem, is that the fitness community, we really, other than me and Alan, who are still suffering from shadow bans and decreased subscribers because of it, during the pandemic, we speak out. We spoke out because this does have a lot to do with fitness. For example, if you're not able to afford food, you're not able to eat healthy. If you're not able to know what's going on around you, and I want to know exactly, Angel Fiend, what we said that, you know, is not, we simply stated opinions, and we would love to talk it out. So, I mean, that's the thing, is that this is what this is about. The problem, the reason shit got bad is people stayed in their lane. right? Like people stayed in their lane. So everybody was so afraid to be canceled and have people like you stop watching them that no one spoke out. So there was no freedom of expression. There was no opinions. And so everybody thought what they were hearing on the media is what we thought, is what our community thought. And believe it or not, our entire crew, we all have our own versions of right and what's wrong and what's just and unjust, but all of us think the same, and none of this offends us. For example, my partner, Mike Rashid, he has a podcast. So he's a fitness guy, right? But his podcast the other day, he's had everybody from physicists on to what are the nuclear, whatever, all these crazy smart people, to Maj Toure, who's Black Guns Matter. So is Mike, by him venturing outside of fitness, does that make him, does that make him a bad person? Because Mike is educating people on things they might not know. We're not pretending to educate people. We're having discussions so you can listen to it. And again, feel free to turn it off because Angel, trust me, I'll be fine without you.
Yeah.
I'll live. But
please unsubscribe.
I like Tom. I quit watching you, but he's watching us.
I would wonder why. Like, what was said that got you to stop watching? Like, what truthful shit did I say? Because it's all truthful shit.
Yeah, I mean, this is just discussion. Yeah. It's at the end of the day, it's a fitness and lifestyle channel, and everything ties into fitness, mental fitness, political fitness. Like if you've noticed, even Greg Doucette came out and spoke up, of course, after it was already done against everything that was going on in 2020. Sure, he did it 2 years late, but we welcome him to the party because we need all the help we can get. Yep. And the fitness community behind closed doors was speaking on these topics. And this is what we talk about in gyms. We don't talk about bench press. We don't talk about squat. At the gym today, I was talking to my client and one of my buddies about Fetterman and how the hell he won. And we were talking about the polarization of the country. So it's one of those things where it does spill over. And if you notice that a lot of the political commentators are former comedians, right?
Yeah.
They're former comedians. So just to let you know, like other than when I'm live with Alan, I never do any static non-live videos about this stuff. This is only live. This discussion. This is literally to get our thought process going. And if people want to join us, that's great. Because it's a conversation we'd have in private anyway.
Yeah.
So
why not have it in public,
So yeah, the everyday life stuff, that's literally what I do on my Instagram. My Instagram is my family. It's my businesses. It's mostly my family and my fitness stuff. And that's where we go. But as far as everything goes, like realize that the likes don't pay your bills. And what I do is not social media.
Yeah.
So
no. That's what I always find it like people will call Mark a loser, and I'm like, it's so like crazy. Like you guys, because you guys like it's like the YouTube audience especially is fucked up. Like for you fucks to like for anybody to believe that like Cali Muscle is more successful than Mark is comical. Like I mean, like I'm talking like comedy comical. Like I mean, like it's because here's the thing, and people don't want to admit this. If Cali Muscle got a chance to work with Mark at any given time for his businesses, I can guarantee you he'd jump at it because it's no, like we all know in the industry, like that it's the, like it helps you, like, and success is not what you see on camera. Like begging for views, begging for views and begging for engagement and stuff like that, instead of saying real shit, that is the sign of somebody that is terrified to not have that engagement because they know that that's all they have.
And I do think we saved lives. And I do think that a lot of people think differently now because we're speaking on things that a lot of people are afraid to talk about. And that's what it all comes down to is what we have. We're blessed to have somewhat of a platform. So are we going to use it just to grift and sell training bands? Or are we going to use, and we're going to sell the shit out of training bands?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Or are we going to use it to help people? And by having these discussions, it shows people that you do not. Okay, Tom, I'd like to address this actually, that you do not need to be scared. Actually, no. So let me tell you my history, Tom. So in 2000, in the year 1999, I got a job with Weeder Publications, where I was in advertising sales, worked my way up to corporate ad sales. And I worked there until 2004. And I was promoted a few times. I was basically making way too much money for my age. I was literally 20 years old. At 2004, I started a company with Sylvester Stallone called Instone. This is all before social media. We didn't have Facebook. We had message boards. Okay, so with Instone, I started that company. And then that didn't work out. So then I started Scivation. Scivation blew up, created the intra-workout category, became a company worth multiple 8 figures, and I sold that in 2011. Right then is where social media launched. I launched my YouTube channel, this channel right here, in January. I'm sorry, in I think it was in November of 2011, I believe, is when I started on this channel. Okay, from there we had tigerfitness.com. Move on, we launched MTS Nutrition. We have Pump Chasers. And with that, in 2015, I started Ambrosia with Mike and Sean. We sold majority of it in 2022, this year. So let's just say that most of my career prior to 2008, when Facebook came out, 2008 is when I started using social media. By the time I had YouTube, I'd already sold a multiple 8-figure company. So you could do the math. Yes, I have gotten more successful, but I wouldn't have had this YouTube or anybody following me if I hadn't already achieved a certain level of success and wealth. So I'm not saying that as a brag. I'm saying that because I don't want to be lumped in with all these guys who started on YouTube. Alan worked for years and years and years in healthcare, making great money, doing corporate level shit. So to say that, YouTube was a launching pad, YouTube actually came around well after I launched, way after, years after.
I mean, to me, it was a way to like start building something up. I got to be real. I approached YouTube as a hobby,
Same.
but my thing was like hobbies need to make me money. If something's going to take time away from my family, it has to make me money too. You know what I mean? Like I'm still the same way with that. Like, I mean, I really do like think that way. Like if you're going to justify time away from your spouse, it either needs to put something on the table or it needs to provide money in some way, But then, it just got to the stage where when it started taking off a little bit, I saw opportunity to get away from the healthcare industry, which I'm super fucking happy about. And then, basically, the idea of like the whole concept of be so good they can't ignore you was I just decided I will try to do the very best I can, learn as much as I can, and like that. And that's why it morphed from the comedy that I was doing before to like kind of what I do now. And don't get me wrong, I still like comedy. It's not like I've even kicked around doing a stand-up at some point in time, someplace, when I can make sure I don't get like Chris Rocked. But it's a tool to promote. Absolutely.
You're absolutely correct. But it's also a tool to educate. So do we use it as just an ad, or again, like, coming out and saying what I did in 2020 was not promotion. That was literally trying to save lives. So, and it hurt me. So there is a balance. So you have to obviously promote it. At the beginning, I showed you this delicious Outright bar, right? And No Morbidity is a place to promote. But what is our content? Is our content helping or hurting people? And there's nothing we said in this podcast that will hurt people. No. Everything we said will make the worst case scenario. It makes you think. It makes you be a critical thinker. And it also helps you avoid becoming a part of a cult, which I think is just a horrible, horrible, horrible way to live life.
I mean, I think also, Tom, like this Tom, I think that it's also, we went from one comment of a guy like being harsh on us and this guy just saying like, I stopped watching you. My thing is like, that's outstanding. And I see like, you stated several times that YouTube is a tool to promote. Yeah, but I wasn't promoting shit in 2020. I was promoting, getting people to try to wake the fuck up and not die and ruin our country.
I literally was telling people, I don't care if you buy vitamin D from Tiger Fitness, Walmart, Target, or anywhere, Walgreens, I don't care. Go buy vitamin D. Yeah. And that's what I said. You could go back. There was no video that said you can only buy mine. I said, I don't care how you get your vitamin D, get your vitamin D. Yeah. And that is where I'm at. And also, like, I go on these like, I can't get away from it. Like next week I'm on Elijah's show again, which is phenomenal, right? Yeah. I've been on OAN. I've been on Jesse Kelly. I've been on Tim Pool, which, by the way, someone asked when I'm going to, he hasn't invited me. I don't even know who the booking person is because Lydia's gone.
Is she gone from there?
Yeah, she's doing her own thing now. So she's doing the married thing, man. She wants to have kids. I love her to death, but I don't even know who the booking person is there. And I'm not going to be like, hey, can you have me on? I'm like, hey, if you guys know what I offer, if you guys want me on, that's great. So, that's our thing. I
sometimes think that you and I are even too like radioactive for some of the like podcasters to touch. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think the wishy-washy ones, but the ones who want actual dialogue and truth.
Yeah.
But anyway, we should probably get on with it. It's been well over an hour, dude. We've got,
oh yeah, shit, dude. I got clients soon.
All right, guys.
Probably sometime here, dude. Maybe here on Friday or something like that. Because
sounds perfect.
I'm gone next week. Follow us both on the MFX COO on Twitter. Follow Mark at Mark Lobliner and get all your supplements from either Tiger Fitness or Ambrosia Collective.
All right, guys.
Goddamn. Later on, guys.